Escape Studios. Let's f***ing go.
Yeah, you know what time it is. You know what time it is. It's Thursday, and it's LFG. Matt Fowler alongside Dave Benz. Coase is in parts unknown with the Ultimate Warrior somewhere. We don't know where he is. He just texted us, and he was like, I'm in remote somewhere. The Wi-Fi doesn't work. So you just got us today, Matt Fowler, Dave Benz, and also Drew Goldfarb. And Drew, I can't
Wait. Okay, if you're going to do the open, you forgot the most important member of the show.
And Bisa as well.
Bisa, our associate. Let's give Bisa a little love, man. Come on.
Okay, well, hang on. There we go.
All right.
There's some love with Bisa. Okay.
Yeah, and no Coase today. He is actually in Canada right now. But that's okay. So that's why we're on a little late, and we're only going to go 90 minutes today. And Drew is Drew. Listen, I'm just thrilled to have you on, man. I was very happy for the Florida Panthers to win the championship. A lot of friends in South Florida, still some friends that cover that team, and it was just amazing to see. And man, they didn't make it easy though. They had to go 7 games. I had to go 7 games to get it done.
There's a reason the team has been nicknamed the Cardiac Cats for the last decade. It's because that's how they've always been. Every game is always exciting. And they've decided, no, you know what, doing it in 4 would not be a Florida Panthers thing. So let's make sure we're celebrating at home, but not in Game 5 because that's what everyone expects us to do. So, let's get to 7. Let's really get those ratings up. The most watched NHL game in about 20 years.
I haven't seen the numbers. Was it the most watched game?
In quite some time. I think, and I'm not full, I don't fully remember how many years it had been, but I'm pretty sure it dates back before the 04-05 lockout, back when the NHL was on ESPN the first time. It was the most watched hockey game in a very long time, and Florida won the championship.
Okay, so I want to get into specifics about the team and about the series in a second, but the 10,000-foot view of things, I'm going to ask you the 2 obvious questions. One, first of all, how completely gut-wrenching and heartbreaking is this to the entire nation of Canada as their inability to win a Stanley Cup championship lasts another year?
I know that in Alberta, you got a 50-50 shot if you are going to be devastated by the outcome of that series or elated by the outcome of that series. So, Edmonton fans obviously are going to be devastated. Calgary fans were thrilled that Matthew Tkachuk, a former Flame, managed to hold off the Edmonton Oilers and prevent them from winning a Stanley Cup for the first time in about 35 years. So it kind of depends on where you're from in Canada, because it's kind of like, I grew up a Mets fan and a Marlins fan, being born in New York, raised in South Florida. And, when the Yankees went to the World Series, I was cheering again for the other team.
How does the fan in Saskatoon feel about the outcome of this one, Drew?
Probably cold. But it's late June, so I'm sure it's really nice. Probably I don't know what that would be in Celsius, but like maybe it's 70 degrees, so that's probably a lovely day. But yeah, I'm sure that every fan who is a bit neutral to Edmonton would have preferred for Canada to get its first cup since 1993. But at the end of the day, you want your team to win, I would think. I don't think that any Leafs fan is suddenly going to be like, yeah, we won a cup if the Edmonton Oilers had lifted Lord Stanley this week.
Yeah, but maybe you feel in some way if Canada can get one that breaks the curse. I don't know. Yeah, you're right, I guess. But it is just kind of interesting. And then the other thing, and this is probably more of a coincidence than anything, but you look at the last 5 Stanley Cup winners. 4 of the 5 are warm weather cities, and I wouldn't the 5th, I wouldn't classify Denver necessarily as a cold weather city. I've lived in Denver. Denver is Denver, sure, they can have brutal blizzards and winter storms, but it can snow for 4 days in January and then be 70 on the 5th day. So it's not your classic cold weather city. But is it just a coincidence that you've got Tampa with 2, Florida now with 1, and Vegas with 1? It doesn't really matter where the team is geographically.
No, realistically, it never has. If anything, there's when a team from Florida beats a team from Canada or a team from Vegas beats a team from something like that, to eliminate someone, they're always going to point to the, there's no state income tax in Nevada or in Florida, so the Lightning, the Panthers, the Golden Knights have at least a slight advantage in that. But I did see someone correctly point out that, the cost of living difference between Winnipeg and Fort Lauderdale is massive. So even if you aren't taking home quite as much of your money, signing the same contract with the Winnipeg Jets as you would with the Florida Panthers, it's going to go further if you're living in Manitoba than if you are trying to find an equivalent house somewhere in Broward County. But yeah, it's it's great for the game to have this kind of growth. If you remember 04, the Lightning won. 05, there was no Stanley Cup presented. In 06, the Carolina Hurricanes won. And the Tampa Bay Lightning fan base has been just solidified since winning that first cup. So you need competitive teams on the ice or on the field of play in order to be able to fully establish a team. So if you've got a newer franchise, or relatively 30 years for the Florida Panthers now in South Florida, but so many of those years were, if we're being very polite about it, were very lean. So something like this helps really just create a stronghold around a franchise. So it's great when you see it in a new market. I'm sure Canadian fans are in New York or Boston or Chicago, which they've gotten theirs and for the most part in the last 30 years as well. But it's nice to see someone new get involved. It's nice to see someone new get that championship and be able to really just like firm up that base, so that this way that the franchise has long-term success. And then we can talk about the next one, about getting established and making sure that Utah has some on-ice success, so this way Salt Lake City becomes a hockey hotbed.
Drew, from a fan standpoint, so you go from this is going to be easy, we're gonna get it in 4, and this is just going to be an easy celebration, to sweating bullets. And I've been on both sides of the coin. When your team wins Game 7, it's the best thing ever. When they lose Game 7, I've experienced that once, and I still don't want to talk about it. So what is it like when you're sitting there, and let's say, because fortunately for you, and then obviously it ended well, but the Panthers did score first. Mm-hmm. So had they not scored first, what would the overall feeling have been? Because they scored first and then Edmonton tied it. But had Edmonton scored first, does it change the way you just completely have an outlook on everything?
Yeah, when the Panthers got a power play in the first period, tied 0-0, I was filled with dread, because that is how Edmonton scored the first goal shorthanded in the game I was at, actually, in Game 2, which Florida won. But the power play did not do them any favors and actually cost them goals during the course of that series. So when that happened, I'm literally just going, I don't need there to be a goal. I just cannot have breakaways on Bobrovsky during this power play again. I can't deal with that right now. So it's funny, because the guy I play beer league with is an Oilers fan. He's from Edmonton. And I think that until the Panthers scored the first goal of Game 7, I don't think there was ever a situation where his emotions and mine were the same throughout the entire series. Because it was 3-0 Panthers, and I'm going, all right, well, you just got to win 1 out of 4. Like, it doesn't matter if it happens.
That's going to happen.
5, 6,
yeah.
7. Right. And then the way Game 5 went, and then the way Game 6 went with the offside goal being called back on Florida, and I'm just going, oh, this is going to go to 7. And he had already accepted defeat after Game 3. Down 3-0, losing at home in Game 3. So I don't think that our emotions were ever actually like next to one another until it was 1-0 Florida, and then Edmonton tied it. Because at that point I'm going, okay, this is a game. Let's settle in. Let's get this done. But that was when I was like, it was that anticipation, that excitement had replaced the feeling of dread I'd had for about 5 days prior.
Drew Goldfarb is our. Go ahead, Matt.
So to piggyback on that, on something related to it. So I am not a hockey aficionado. I'm becoming one, as for the first time in my life, I watched all 7 Stanley Cup Finals games. So
welcome.
Kudos to me, and it's actually, because I've only known the San Jose Sharks, and they haven't been very good except for the one time that they got there, but then they didn't do too well. So the Conn Smythe Trophy. Mm-hmm. So it was won by McDavid, right? Yeah.
Yep.
And he's obviously on the Oilers. And so for sports fans that don't know, because for me, I kind of got it, but it initially had this knee-jerk reaction of, wait, that's the MVP trophy, the most important MVP trophy going to somebody on the losing team, and that just doesn't happen in other sports. For the most part, Jerry West got it.
Yeah,
in
but
the NBA,
but Matt, you're leaving out the big piece of information, which it's a trophy for the entire playoffs. It's not for the finals.
I was getting there, Dave. I was just getting there to that. I'm aware of that. However, it still just puts a weird taste in my mouth. Even with that criteria, it still does.
Yeah, I have no issue with McDavid being named Conn Smythe winner. I personally, that's not necessarily the direction I would have taken, because over the course of the postseason, McDavid was clearly the guy for Edmonton, in the same way that Bobrovsky was the guy for Florida. The issue I have with the way the voting went is that one person picked Bobrovsky as the Conn Smythe winner, and only one other person of the nearly 20 voters had Bobrovsky in first, second, or third.
Whoa, really?
There was a beat writer who covered the Edmonton Oilers for decades who had McDavid, Hyman, and a third Oiler as his three picks. And I take no issue with giving McDavid that award. It's for the whole playoffs, which if you're going to say that, which is the way it is, so it's not just saying that. That's literally what the Conn Smythe Trophy goes to. But Bobrovsky had those couple bad games in the middle of that 7-game Stanley Cup Final Series. Connor McDavid was held in check for 4 or 5 games in that series. And I had said, I was, if you were trying to get cute with it, I was saying Alexander Barkov was a really good option. If you didn't want to go Bobrovsky because of how bad game 4, 5, 6 was defensively for Florida, Sasha Barkov had a huge hand in shutting down not just McDavid and Draisaitl, who had 0 goals in the series, not only them, but also Panarin, also every other forward that they played. Barkov was trusted to not only be an offensive weapon for Florida, he was tied for the team lead in points with 22, 14 of them were assists, but he also was put on the ice against the best of the opposition. And if you look through the star players that Florida went up against, none of them had success against the Panthers. They all had success elsewhere. Connor McDavid had some success in a couple of games against the Panthers in this series, but at least one of those goals came on an empty net. And if you look at game 1, if you look at game 2, if you look at game 3, if you look at game 6, if you look at game 7, the Panthers shut him down. And if you're not going to say Bobrovsky because if those 2 games where he let in so many goals and was pulled is enough to override the other, his 16 wins over the course of the series, then, I disagree, but, okay. You can't, dropping him out of your top 3, really dropping him out of your top 2 if McDavid is your 1, I think is inexcusable.
Well, I think listen, Drew, the bigger question here for me is, and I know you have a beef, but we're getting into hardcore hockey fans, and the casual fan is going to be like, okay, the bigger picture for the casual fan is and I know there's history behind it, so you don't just be like, oh, well, it kind of seems weird to the casual fan, so we're going to change the history, but should the NHL? I'm not saying they should get rid of the Conn Smythe, but should they also have maybe an award for just the Finals MVP? As the NBA does, or would that take away from the Conn Smythe in your mind?
I think it would take away from it, but I also don't know that changes anything. Because if Bobrovsky is not getting top 3 votes over the course of the whole postseason, who are you giving the award to in the final? Because the only games that were a knock on Bobrovsky for the entire 2-month playoff happened in the Stanley Cup final. He was dominant for the first 3 rounds, and the first 3 rounds plus 3 games plus the final one. He was dominant. So I don't know that really changes anything to do. The NHL does 3 starts of the game every game, except they don't announce it for the final game of the Stanley Cup final because no one wants to waste 3 minutes hearing about who had a really good assist and was the 3rd star of the cup clinching game. Just get the cup out there, hand it off. Let's see the handshakes before that. Let's get the players skating around. I do think if you're looking to adapt it, that especially in a Game 7 situation, the NHL allowing there to be a conditional vote where it's, hey, if Florida wins, here's my 3. If Edmonton wins, here's my 3. I think that makes more sense because that's the one thing I would say in this. I felt after Edmonton forced Game 7, I was going, this is McDavid's award for MVP because the Panthers got pushed, had them on the brink, and McDavid willed them back to a Game 7. Even though he didn't do anything in Game 6, he was.
He disagrees so hard.
He's just like, man, okay. You disagreed with me apparently, Dave. That's what I'm just assuming.
I was like, I'm getting out. This is such a terrible take. No, I hit a wrong button. But anyway, so well,
Hey, Drew's got the echo going.
Wait a minute.
So do I now.
Hold on. You guys have the echo going. It's because hold on. I can fix that. Where's my settings? Hold on. Where's the there we go. All right. How's your echo now? Is it gone now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, there you go. Through the magic of the. See, I just hit the wrong button because I was looking at. I wanted to look something up on Safari, and I hit the wrong thing. Anyway, all right. Drew Goldfarb is with DGPicks.com, and he's our sports betting analyst out of Vegas, and he's also one of the biggest hockey fans that I know, and he's living on cloud nine. I just want to know where's the Panthers Stanley Cup champions jersey? When is that arriving?
On order. I think that the jersey patches have shipped. I got this jersey customized from the place in Illinois that actually customizes the Panthers on ice stuff because I wasn't thrilled with. I had ordered a customized one originally from the official supplier and now the official jersey manufacturer of the NHL starting this season. But they had heat press numbers, and this is an authentic jersey, so not okay with that. So I'm basically debating if I'm going to have them remove the 2023 patch, or this is an interesting thing, and it only happens this year because the Florida Panthers did not have a sponsor on their jersey in 2023, which meant that the cup patch was in the traditional spot. This year they did, which means the 2024 patch goes on this side of the jersey. So I'm a stickler for keeping things accurate. Like I don't buy a lot of the fan-made jerseys, the ones that aren't worn on the ice. So I'm torn between, do I have them remove the 2023 patch to make it a 24 jersey, or do I just have them add the 24 patch and bump the A over slightly? So that
I'd go with the first one. I'd go with the first one because do you really want to be repping a Stanley Cup loss when you have a Stanley Cup win? When you have a Stanley Cup win?
My question is, I think the counter to that is, would you rather have the first of your back-to-back trips and your first trip to the final in 27 years, or would you rather have a drink company logo on your jersey there? Because I forget who it is that the jersey sponsor, but it is LaCroix.
Oh,
So,
LaCroix. LaCroix. I think it's the LaCroix.
So this is
LaCroix.
this is way too deep for me with the intricacies with the jerseys. I'll say this: when the Giants won the World Series in 2010, 2011, when they did ring night, they came out with the special edition gold jerseys with the gold numbers. I bought one. It was like $250. I think I've worn it one time in like 13 years. So for me personally, jerseys, I have to admire the dedication, but the jersey intricacies are just not for me. But we do have you on for for gambling.
Well, hold on. Before you transition to that, I got a jersey comment.
Okay.
So I'm not a jersey guy, but I actually do have a Giants 2010 World Series jersey, and I got it as somebody gave it to me. Is why I have it, and it doesn't have a number on it. Very rarely do I wear it. It needs to be a special reason for me to wear a jersey, which you have obviously today. So that's you're more than entitled. I did, however, and I watched Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Most of Game 7 I watched on my phone from the seats at Oracle Park because I went to the Giants-Cubs game on Monday night because it was their first home game since the passing of Willie Mays, and I wanted to be there to see the team honor the greatest Giant in franchise history. So I was there, and I did wear my Giants jersey to Willie Mays night, if you will, at Oracle Park, because I kind of felt like that's if you own a jersey, that's the time you wear it. But I'm not rolling up to a regular, you know, Giants Brewers game on a random Thursday night that I happen to have tickets to in a Giants jersey.
I mean, that's up to you. For hockey, I think it's very easy to just say I wear a jersey basically to every game I'm not credentialed for. I enjoy the aesthetic of the jerseys. I love the designs. Some of the designs I hate, but most of the designs I really enjoy. So, I get that approach if you want to make it a special thing and that sort of thing. But it's a sporting event.
I will say, I feel like pretty much everybody that goes to a hockey game has a jersey. Like, they do well at the pro shop at the hockey games. That's for sure.
Well, you need a sweatshirt of some kind. So if you're going to go, I mean, I live in Vegas. I grew up in Florida. Like, if you're going to go in, the outside is going to be like 85 degrees by the time you're getting to the arena, if it's an October game or like a March, April game, and potentially warmer in Vegas. But, so it's not like you're going to be dressed
potentially
in
warmer,
jeans
potentially.
Yeah, potentially. Hey, we get those random like weeks where we're in the 60s in March. So, but a jersey is an easy thing where you just bring it with you. You put it on when you get into the building because it's going to be cold, and then when you leave, you can take the jersey off, and you're in shorts and a t-shirt or jeans and a t-shirt, and this way you're not sweating like crazy after the game. Because you're not dressing for a game in South Florida, especially, like even in January, you're not dressing for winter.
All right.
You're going to go inside and the building's going to be 50 degrees.
So Drew, I know Matt's itching to get into the gambling thing, but before we do that, Matt lost 10 more hot dogs. That was a Freudian slip, by the way, so now I don't know if I can ask this question. But Matt lost 10 more sandwiches to Jim Cozumore last week on a side bet that they made on the show, wanting to know if my son Brendan would know what a glizzy is. Like, if I say I'm cooking up some glizzies, what does that mean? Do you know?
It's a hot dog.
I didn't know that, but my son shot right back right away. And so Matt's down. Matt is down now 20 sandwiches to Coz, and he's down 9 sandwiches to me. This is a lot of sandwiches.
Like, do hot dogs count?
I think
that's the big question.
As a sandwich, sure, why not? If that's what if that's what the person who's is entitled to the sandwich wants, then
so
sure.
Matt, go down to Costco or Sam's Club and go get those like $1 hot dogs from the concession stand there, and you're good to go.
Yeah,
you pay up and it'll cost you $30.
Yeah, no, that'll be. Well, I did pay up. Dave wanted some sandwich one time from a really, really fancy place in San Rafael.
It wasn't that fancy.
I think they gave you champagne and cheese with your frickin' sandwich. That's how fancy it was. It was like $40.
Sandwich scoreboard update.
So Dave gave me credit for like 3 or 4 sandwiches for just one. I hope it was worth it. But and by the way, I will bust Dave's chops a little bit more. Yes, he did go to the Willie Mays game. He left early. They were down 4-0. He left early, and then they came back and won on Willie Mays night, and he didn't stay for it. You call yourself a Giants fan.
I went there to go see the Willie Mays ceremony. I was there for a few hours. I had my fun. I was good. I had free parking on the street, and my time was expiring, and I didn't want to pay a $200 parking ticket. So,
spoken like someone who thinks wearing a jersey is only for special occasions.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So Drew, getting into the gambling aspects of it, there's a lot of intricacies and fun little nuggets with the Stanley Cup final betting, one of which was the Conn Smythe with Connor McDavid. It was interesting because up 3-0, I saw that the odds of him winning that were, I don't know, minus 250, minus 350 or whatever.
Plus.
Oh, sorry.
Plus 250.
Yeah.
Minus would be a massive favorite, which is what he was by Game 7.
And then they lose all those games, they win all those games, and then wait, I'm getting.
What are you doing?
He was a 3-1 underdog when they were down, and then he became a massive favorite once they evened things up. Is I think what you're saying.
Yes, and so that is a very odd way of looking at things, because if you want to parlay that, but it would have been a little insane to parlay the Edmonton Oilers winning down 3-0, but you almost pulled it off. And so, what can that, what would that do with, with some people's way of betting? I mean, how would one look at that?
I mean, I would not, if you were going to look at the line going into game 4 or game 5, and you were looking at Edmonton to win the series, which I think after game 3 was something like 30-1. I think it was like plus 3,000 that the Oilers would have come back to win that series. If you were going to say, oh, I'm going to throw a couple bucks at the Oilers to win the series just because, if I throw in $5, I'll get 150 in profit if it happens, like that, wouldn't that be fun? Parlaying a bet like that is a waste of a wager and of a parlay because you're talking about something. No one is going to be disappointed if they get a 30-1 hit. No one that puts $5 on a single number of a roulette wheel has that hit and goes, why didn't I also bet on the column? Like you go, oh my God, I got 35-1 at roulette. I only put $5 on that one spot. So, McDavid, if you had done that, I think you kind of would have had to do that after hindsight. Obviously we know now the series went 7. I think the hindsight of that is that you would have had to place that wager during game 5 for that to make sense, or once Bobrovsky was pulled, or something along those lines. Like you would have needed to pick a moment where you were like, I think this is going to be a 3-2 series here, and jump on it then. Because as soon as the series was 3-3, McDavid was the favorite at the sports book to win the award. So, it's easy to go back and be like, oh man, if I should have put $5 on McDavid to be the playoff MVP with the Panthers up 3-0. Unless you did it, no one would have done it. So that's a tricky thing. But if you're going to get those kind of odds, you don't need a parlay. You use a parlay if you need to get a bigger payout on something. So that's kind of, you didn't need to make it any better than 30-1, taking Edmonton to come back down 3-0.
All right, so Drew, what's the futures bet look like?
That's a fun one. I'll see what we got going on live here for the NHL's futures. We've got Stanley Cup favorites for next year. Florida Panthers 9-1, Carolina 9.5-1. Same with Colorado, Dallas, Edmonton both 10-1. So at this point, if you're looking this far out, you're literally talking about 12 months before your bet pays a return. We have not seen free agency. We have not seen the draft yet. So if you're going to do something like that, you've got to take a long shot. Because if you're going to put $5 on it in June for who's going to lift the cup in next June, you've got to be trying to take something that you think is going to close up once free agency hits in a week. So that for me, Vancouver is 19-1. Boston is 23-1. I'm trying to glance through. Pittsburgh is 43-1, but they have just been so hit and miss. So if you're looking at something like that, that's something you could do. Team futures, there's President's Trophy stuff. I'm not seeing make the playoffs yet, because that would have been a fun one for the Utah Hockey Club, because they were the Arizona Coyotes. They are now officially Utah HC for the next year, and then maybe in perpetuity beyond that, but maybe Yeti. So if you're looking at something, you're trying to make the playoffs bet or something along those lines, you've got to find value in it. You've got to try and predict how free agency is going to go. And the draft starts tomorrow here in Vegas. So we are about a week before that happens. So if you're looking for something like that long term, don't do 2-1 on Carolina to win the division. It's not worth having your money held up for literally 10 months. Be aggressive or wait until free agency is over, because the odds are going to be the same on the favorites anyway.
Drew Goldfarb, DGPicks.com. One more for you, Drew, and then I'll let you go. The NBA draft, round 1 last night. Bronny James unselected. Is there any action on whether or not he gets picked tonight? Is that a bet we can make?
I'm not seeing that on FanDuel, but it doesn't mean that that you won't be able to find that elsewhere. The super unique bets like that are usually held maybe more likely to be offshore. BetMGM appears to have something, but this was prior to actually this was posted Oh, this was posted a couple of hours ago. So, yeah, BetMGM seems to have something on that. So, they were a lot of it was like, oh, is he going to be picked first overall? Which obviously, but there was a lot of money on that at BetMGM Sportsbook for Bronny James to go first overall.
Which was
For
crazy.
people at BetMGM Sportsbook.
I mean, listen, the Lakers have the 55th pick of the overall draft, and I believe there's only 58 picks total in the draft this year, because I know two picks were lost to a couple of teams, and I mean, I guess the Lakers could take him at 55, but what are the odds if they don't take him at 55 that whoever's got 56 through 58 is going to take him? You could just sign him as an unrestricted free agent.
So the Lakers, when the odds were available or may become available again, the Lakers were minus 120 to select him in the draft. And the next shortest odds of any team was the Phoenix Suns at 7-1.
Wow.
So, you can do something like that, but for minus 120, like, is that, I don't know that the likelihood matches up with that, because that means that it has to be more likely than not that the Lakers select him in the draft in order for that bet to pay out. So
For every pick that passes that Bronny James is not selected, my faith in humanity is restored by 1%.
By the way, the Dallas Mavericks have the 58th and final pick of the draft. So
7.5 to 1 at FanDuel, 10 to 1 at DraftKings.
You could almost see the Mavs if there's nobody they like at 58. You got the last pick of the draft. If there's nobody you like at 58 and the Lakers don't take him at 55, you could almost see the Mavs being like, let's just give it to the Lakers and take Bronny.
No, come on.
Sell some James jerseys and see if that recoups the cost of the pick.
Yeah, exactly. See if maybe LeBron comes to Dallas. That would be interesting. All right, Drew Goldfarb is the best. Check him out, dgpicks.com. We have so much more to get to. We're only doing a 90-minute show today. We've got to open the mailbag, and we also have a trivia bit with Bisa. And Drew, if you want to stick around for this, you can, but you don't have to. My son is prepping for the California driver's learner's permit exam.
Ooh.
So coming up next segment, we're not going to talk sports at all. I'm going to quiz Matt and Bisa and myself with the top 5 hardest questions on the California driver's learner's permit test, and we're going to see who can get the best score. Drew, you're more than welcome to stick around if you want to play that.
That sounds fun. Yeah, I'll stick around. And you said 5 questions? I'm setting the line.
We're going to do 5 questions. You're setting the line at
2.0, pushing it to win if you want to take 3, and 1 or 0 is the under on that.
Okay.
All right. Well, Drew, I'm the DGen of the group, so I got to get some action in on that. So you and I will get
Costco
some wagers
hot
in
dog.
after the break.
Sam's Club or Costco hot dog and a soda. There we go.
Okay. There we go. All right.
All right. Love it. All right. We're back with more LFG after this quick timeout. By the way, it's been a while since I played this sounder as we go to break. More LFG coming up after this quick timeout.
Woo, you sure gotta climb a lot of steps to get to this Capitol building here in Washington. Well, I wonder who that sad little scrap of paper is.
I'm just a bill, yes, I'm only a bill, and I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill. Well, it's a long, long journey to the capital city. It's a long, long wait while I'm sitting in committee, but I know I'll be a law someday. At least I hope and pray that I will, but today I am still just a bill.
Gee, Bill, you certainly have a lot of patience and courage.
Well, I got this far. When I started, I wasn't even a bill. I was just an idea. Some folks back home decided they wanted a law passed, so they called their local congressman, and he said, "You're right, there ought to be a law." Then he sat down and wrote me out and introduced me to Congress, and I became a bill. And I'll remain a bill until they decide to make me a law. I'm just a bill, yes, I'm only a bill, and I got as far as Capitol Hill. Well, now I'm stuck in committee, and I'll sit here and wait while a few key congressmen discuss and debate whether they should let me be a law. I hope and pray that they will, but today I am still just a bill.
listen to those congressmen arguing. Is all that discussion and debate about you?
Yeah, I'm one of the lucky ones. Most bills never even get this far. I hope they decide to report on me favorably, otherwise I may die.
Die?
Yeah, die in committee. Oh, but it looks like I'm gonna live. Now I go to the House of Representatives and they vote on me.
If they vote yes, what happens?
Then I go to the Senate and the whole thing starts all over again.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm only a bill. And if they vote for me on Capitol Hill, well, then I'm off to the White House where I'll wait in a line with a lot of other bills for the president to sign. And if he signs me, then I'll be along. How I hope and pray that he will. But today I am still just a bill.
You mean even if the whole Congress says you should be a law, the president can still say no?
Yes, that's called a veto. If the president vetoes me, I have to go back to Congress and they vote on me again, and by that time you're so
By
old.
that time, it's very unlikely that you become a law. It's not easy to become a law, is it?
No, but how I hope and pray that I will. But today I am still just a bill.
He signed your bill. Now you're a law.
Oh, yes.
It's the bottom of the hour, or close enough. Time for your Tickscape Studios Sports Update with Matt Fowler.
The Boston Celtics announced Thursday that center Kristaps Porzingis had surgery to repair the rare leg injury he suffered during the NBA Finals, and that his recovery time would be 5 to 6 months, meaning that he won't return until well into the start of next season for the defending champions. Porzingis, 28, suffered a torn medial, I can't even pronounce
collateral?
that word, something allowing a dislocation of the posterior tibialis tendon in Game 2, an injury the team described as rare in a news release. For all the latest news, updates, hot takes, tune in to LFG with Dave Benz, myself, Matt Fowler, Jim Kozimor, who is in parts unknown, and our associate producer, Bisa. Now back to LFG. I tried. I couldn't pronounce it.
Media is a collateral. I haven't looked at what the injury is. I'm assuming it's medial collateral.
It's hang on, let me look. It is the it's suffered a torn retinaculum. Yeah. Yeah.
There you go. I'm not sure
so
you
there you
nailed
go.
it. But I'll give you the sounder anyway, just because I haven't played it enough lately. All right, so we need to get Bisa back in here. Bisa needs to join for this segment. Our associate producer, Bisa's going to give us some movie clues later in the show, and we're going to go through her bit. But I figured my son is getting ready to be able to take the written exam for his California driver's learner's permit. I actually asked him if he wanted to join the show for this, but he instead decided to not be a part of it, mostly because, you know, he's 15 and he's enjoying sleeping still at 11:42 in the morning here on the West Coast. So that's
I still don't understand how I don't understand how you can sleep that long. Even when I was 15.
Well, I
didn't sleep
mean,
that long.
listen, it's
I do
summer
that all the
vacation, so I'm not giving him a hard time about what time he goes to bed, but I can tell you that I was up last night till about 12:30 and he was still awake. So, you know, I'm guessing he was up until like 2 or 3 in the morning playing video games with his friends, and I'm like, hey, whatever. If he wants to sleep, gives me my morning free, man, so I'm good.
I was working out, and then my friend in Florida FaceTimed me because he was leaving a gentleman's club in South Florida where all the Florida Panthers and the Stanley Cup were partying. So he had driven all the way down about an hour plus so that he could go to this club with the 20 members of the Florida Panthers and Lord Stanley itself. So.
What? They actually had the cup there with them?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
that's awesome.
It goes everywhere.
That is awesome. I love that. All right.
There's a reason a guy's always cleaning it because it's gotten very dirty over the years.
Okay. All right. So here we go. So here's how we're going to do this. We're all going to give our answers, and I will record the answers for these 5 questions, and I will give us the. We will see who did the best on this when we get through the 5. We'll let Bisa go first on every answer because it's ladies get to go first. So first question on the California driver's permit test. When you parking your vehicle on any hill, 1, this is multiple choice, 4 options. 1, place the front wheels parallel to the road if there is no curb. 2, use the parking brake and keep the vehicle in gear or park mode. 3, keep the engine on to prevent the car from moving. 4, one of your rear wheels should touch the curb. Bisa, what are you going with on that one?
I'm not gonna lie to you, Dave. I literally just got my driver's license. What was it? I want to say last January.
Wow, that's
I was-
amazing.
I've been just too scared to drive, and out here in Vegas, no one uses turn signals unless they're not from here. There's like 8 lines of I just so yeah, I don't know. I would need to study.
No one uses turn signals.
Well, you
unless
got
they're
it. You got a
not from here. That's
25%
great.
chance. I'll read you the answers again. Just give me your best guess. Parking your vehicle on any hill. 1, place the front wheels parallel to the road if there's no curb. 2, use the parking brake and keep the vehicle in gear or park mode. 3, keep the engine on to prevent the car from moving. Excuse me. Or 4, one of your rear wheels should touch the curb.
I'll say number 2.
Okay, number 2. All right, Matt, what do you got for me?
Thought I knew this right off the bat, but then it's a little tricky. But I'm gonna go with number 4.
Matt's going with number 4. One of the rear wheels should touch the curb. Drew, what do you got?
I always know that you're supposed to point the wheels towards the curb, but if there's no curb, I'm going to go with the one that says to engage the parking brake, because that's the only thing that I know you have to do of all of the options that were listed. That's the one that I know you're supposed to do, parking on an incline.
I'm also going to go with the parking brake for question number 1. All right, moving on to question 2. What should you do to avoid skidding when driving on wet surfaces? 1, increase your speed to enter curves and reduce your speed to exit them. 2, increase your speed when going down a steep hill. 3, reduce your speed prior to entering curves and intersections. 4, swerve between lanes to gain control of your vehicle.
Number 3.
Pisa's going with number 3, reduce speed. All right, Matt, what do you like there?
Numbers 1, 2, and 4 may be fun at times, but I think you're supposed to reduce your speed when you go for a turn. Who wrote that question? Did the California DMV actually write those answers? That's insane.
These are supposedly the 5 most missed questions. So, Drew, what do you got?
Lord help us.
I'm waiting for these to all just be misdirects, but 3 is the one that makes the most sense.
Yes, it's unanimous. We're all going with 3. All right, question number 3. When cruising along a freeway, you should look farther ahead compared to city driving. 1, in order to detect a potential hazard on the road. 2, because there aren't many signs on the road to look at. 3, because it takes a quarter mile to come to a full stop. 4, in order to catch up with the amount of traffic on the road.
I'll say number 3.
Number 3, because it takes a quarter mile to come to a full stop. Matt?
What was number 1 again?
In order to detect a potential hazard on the road.
Okay, well, both 1 and 3 make sense. It's probably 3, but I'm going to go with 1.
Matt's going with 1. Drew?
I was thinking 1 and 3 sound like they should be merged together. No pun intended. I'm going to go with 1 on that one because I feel like that would account for 3.
See, I feel the opposite. I feel like 3 would account for 1 because it takes a quarter mile to stop. So if you see a hazard, so I'm going to go with 3, but I could see why this question might trip some people up. So
I feel like that would have to they'd have to tell you why. Like that's just like, oh, it takes a quarter mile to stop. It's like, cool, fun fact. I'm just gonna go back to driving now.
All right, question number 4. When a truck is passing your car, you should 1, come to a complete stop. 2, speed. Speed up to prevent the truck from passing you. 3, keep to the far side of your lane, or 4, tap your horn to alert the trucker about your presence. Actually, that one I shouldn't be laughing at because that could actually be a right answer. I thought it was gonna say tap your horn to wave to the driver. Okay, so again, 1, come to a complete stop. 2, speed up to prevent the truck from passing you. 3, keep to the far side of your lane, or 4, tap your horn to alert the trucker about your presence.
Because I want to say stay to like the far side of your lane, but then I'm like, because the lanes are already so narrow, and then you could almost push someone in the other lane over. But I know you should not speed up because you're not gonna win. I know you shouldn't just abruptly stop. I don't want to think about honking the horn, but
5 seconds.
okay, 3. I don't know.
3. All right, Matt.
Okay. I have absolutely done both 1 and 2.
Wait, you've come to a complete stop?
Okay, not a complete stop, but I hate being next to trucks. I have seen Final Destination, okay? That is not going to be me. I hate it, and believe me, if there is a truck, I mean, obviously the trucks are not usually in the left lane. If they are, I speed up to get around them. I hate it, but for the purposes of the test, I will say you probably, whatever the one says, that stay in the furthest most lane.
Okay, that's 3. Drew?
Yeah.
I'm going 3. I would not be shocked if it's 4, and basically everyone gets mistaught that you're supposed to flash your brights so that they know to move over. If it's actually that you're supposed to tap your horn to alert them that you're still next to them or something. But yeah, 3 is the one that seems like the way to go.
All right, we're unanimous. I'm going with 3. I think if you honk their horn, the trucker's going to be like, what the hell is your problem?
Right.
And you're not coming to a complete stop. I think a younger version of myself might have done number 2, but I think now I probably I don't come to a complete stop. I probably slow down, let the truck get around me, and then I just get in the left lane and pass the truck right back. Anyway, all right, question number 5, our final question. A poor driving record may, 1, increase your auto insurance rates. 2, increase your registration renewal fees. 3, reduce the likelihood of being pulled over. 4, reduce your risk of crashing.
1.
1.
I'm going to spoil this. I have personal experience with this, so I know it's 1.
Drew?
We the ones.
Yeah, we're 1s across the board on that. So, all right, let's see how we did.
Hang on now, Drew and I have a lunch with hot dogs and some chips and a soda attached to this.
I think we were the same, except for maybe 1 pick. So,
well, okay,
all right.
well then we'll make that the bet then. Whoever got that one wrong.
All right, so question number 1 was when parking your vehicle on any hill. The correct answer was number 2. Use the parking brake and keep your vehicle in gear or park mode. So Bisa, Drew, and myself all got that correct. Matt Fowler, you got that wrong. Question number 2. What do you do to avoid skidding when driving on wet surfaces? The correct answer is 3. Reduce your speed prior to entering curves and intersections. So we all picked that one correct. So we all get a point on that one. Question number 3. When cruising along a freeway, you should look farther ahead compared to city driving. The correct answer is 1, in order to detect a potential hazard on the road. So Drew and Matt get it right, and Bisa and myself got that one wrong. Question 4. When a truck is passing your car, you should keep to the far side of your lane. We all got that one correct. And question number 5. A poor driving record, yes, indeed, will increase your insurance rates. So let's see. Matt, Bisa, you got 4 out of 5. Matt, you got 4 out of 5. I got 4 out of 5. And Drew Goldfarb, Drew is our driving champion with a 5 out of 5 score.
5 time. 5-time, 5-time, 5-time.
But here's the reality. I think you probably only need to get 3 out of 5 right to actually be given a driver's license.
So we're all capable of operating a motor vehicle legally and safely, but I'm just more legalier and safer than some other people.
Yes, exactly. All right, good
I have
stuff.
a question.
Yeah.
Because the one asking about the freeway and like how far you should look ahead, how is that different than city driving? In city driving, you're looking ahead to make sure you're not avoiding obstacles.
Well, yeah,
Because
but
it
I
takes
think it's
farther to
the
stop.
question said you should look further ahead on the highway, like in the in the city. Obviously, you got to be looking right in front of the hood of your car because somebody could jump out in front of it at any time, right?
Yeah.
Whereas you're moving so fast. I think. I mean, that's what I would. I'm not obviously. We need to. Drew, what's your take? You're the only one that got 100% on that.
So you're supposed to actually stay, I forget what the distance is, but a certain amount of distance further behind the car in front of you for every 10 miles an hour of the speed limit or that you're traveling. So with a highway, it's because your reaction time is going to, you're going to go further before you can react to anything that you see. And your car is going to take longer to slow down to a stop, which is, that's why I said, I'm like, it's 1 because of 3. It's like you need to be looking further ahead because the car takes a lot further to stop. I think modern cars, by the way, that quarter of a mile thing, I think was accurate in the 70s, and now it's like, 400 or 500 feet or something like that if you're going highway speeds.
Yeah, those are the questions. Like, I'm surprised it didn't have on there. Because we've all at times whatever had to take these questions for whatever reason, and I always feel like there's like a question like, when coming to a railroad crossing, you should stop X amount of feet behind the before you get to the tracks, and it's like I stop where they painted the line and put down the gate. I don't know how many feet that is. I'm not sitting out there going out there with a measuring tape. But
some places don't always have the lines in the gates. There was a couple of those when I was living and working in Tupelo, Mississippi, in that area, where there's only like 3 cars that ever cross that road on a given day, so they don't paint it or have there's like a sign that tells you there's a crossing ahead, but they don't repaint it like every few weeks or years or whatever, and that just fades.
By the way, speaking of driving, Drew, if they started to put together they started to get the F1 track ready yet in Vegas, are the roads a mess there yet?
God, I would hope not, because it's NHL draft. The awards are tonight. The NHL draft round 1 is tomorrow at the Sphere. So I'm hoping to head down that way later on. So I'm hoping that they haven't closed a bunch down for F1, but. Yeah, on the street I live, the construction is a disaster. It now takes me 10 minutes to go the final half mile to get to the highway if they have construction.
Well, you need to pick up Bisa, and the two of you need to go to the NHL draft and file a report for us for next week. That's what you guys need to do.
You got the credentials out, like reimbursed for expenses, for food, for drinks, for that?
Yeah. I'll give you Jim Cozamore's email address, and that's where you can send the invoice.
Awesome. Yeah.
Crazy enough, I applied to be a seat filler for tonight.
Did you really? And
I don't know yet. They said they would be emailing, but I applied because it's free. They say, hey, make sure you dress nice, and we'll let you know you can be a seat filler.
Oh, that's awesome! I love it. All right. Well, Drew, we're going to say so long, man. We're going to hit the top of the hour break. 30 more minutes of LFG coming your way after this timeout. We will open the mailbag and whatever other burning issues Matt Fowler wants to get to. We'll do a Being Matt's Bookie as well. It's all ahead. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this timeout here on LFG.
Y'all ready for this?
What a shot by Happy Gilmore.
Drive it 400 yards.
He's a publicist's dream.
Happy Gilmore. He's been the talk of the course today with his huge drives and his amazing...
Hey, my girlfriend's dead,
Don't worry. I won't tell anyone.
I've heard you've done some really interesting things here.
Hey, who's that?
Shooter McGavin.
You killed a golf legend.
You may be right, but our ratings are up and we're attracting new youthful sponsors. I'm sorry, Shooter. There's nothing I can do.
Guess I'll have to take care of this myself.
He's He's just threatened by you.
Congratulations, murderer.
You know, I know what you're doing right now, and I don't like it.
Let's do it. Hey.
Okay, we'll go on a date.
You gotta give me a big fat kiss. You gotta pretend that you like it too.
How's that nice girlfriend of yours?
Oh, she's dead.
You killed Bob Barker.
I know that, and I'm sorry.
Kick him off the tour.
That might be extreme considering the fact that our ratings were the highest that we've ever had.
I was on this tour for one reason, money. But now I got a new reason.
You're in big trouble, though, pal. I eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast. Listen, this girl's about business.
Anybody I get close to dies. If I were you, I'd run.
Answer me! You got that, baby? That ain't more where I came from, yeah! Shoot on that baby!
Oh, my God!
Somebody closer! Get me out of here! You're gonna die, clown! Stay still!
Have you no more anything?
Oh my God, power failure. It's getting very scary in here.
Tickscape Studios. Let's f***ing go.
Yeah, we're back. It is noon Pacific on LFG. Dave Benz, Matt Fowler, our associate producer Bisa, and we are in our fun last half hour on this abbreviated edition of LFG. And Dave, I have to say I am slightly disappointed in you, my friend. You are usually very, very observant in the very beginning of the show, usually asking everybody how they're doing and pointing out new things. And you neglected to realize that I look like the Wolfman last week, and I have a new haircut.
The Wolfman? You looked like the Wolfman?
Yeah.
You literally did say the Wolfman, just for the record. So
yes, I did. Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. You know what? We're due for that because you haven't made fun of me for that. You know, and you got to do that at least apparently once a show. Either you, Jim, Bisa, or one of the guests, or something.
The Wolfman. I need to get so now I need to get the Wolfman added to the Wolfpack and the Timberwolves. That's okay. Now that's more homework for me to do. So I guess I got to get on that. Anyway, you don't look like a wolf man. What you're saying?
No. I said I did last week, and I got. I'm all clean shaven now.
I got news for you, Matt. I'm not that observant when it comes to what your daily vibe is that you got going on. Sometimes, in the moment.
Yeah, but I mean, I know what you look like. So if you come on and you have a beard all of a sudden, I'm gonna comment on that.
I look like the guy who just got back in time from the gym in time to put the show on the air. That's what I look like.
I walked in the door from Starbucks 8 minutes before the show. I was way too jacked up on caffeine, and
so you're jacked up, Matt. Are we gonna see jacked up Matt? That's gonna be the new thing.
Yeah,
like jacked up Joe tonight, jacked up Matt. By the way, I was thinking I don't want to get into politics. I don't want to, but tonight obviously is the big it's the debate, and I was thinking it would be kind of fun.
Thing?
It would be kind of fun to have to turn it into a drinking game. Or do debate bingo where every time Trump says Sleepy Joe or says jacked up Joe, that's you got to do a shot of beer. Every time that Biden says convict or felon, you got to do a shot of beer. I think you could come up with a bunch of key words here that because Biden's gonna hammer the convict and felon line. So that's for sure got to be on the bingo card. That Trump is going to call him either Jacked Up Joe and or Sleepy Joe. So that's got to be on the bingo card. What else would be on the bingo card tonight?
All right. Well, a lot. I mean, anytime that Trump says this is going to be the best of anything,
Witch hunt needs to be on it. Oh yeah, the best, amazing, yeah, whatever. Anyway, maybe I'll make up a bingo card and I'll send it over and we can watch that. Although I told myself that I'm done with it might need to be something other than because I haven't. I've been clean for a little bit now in terms of the good living with taking in any alcohol. I was extremely hungover after my event this past weekend in Chicago, and I'm like, yeah, I think I need to be clean for a while. Anyway, I digress. So Matt, what's any other burning topics you want to get to, or should we get into the mailbag?
I think we should get into the mailbag. It's the Stanley Cup is over, the NBA Finals are over. Now we kind of have this lull with baseball. Although I do have to say, I'm going to, in the next couple of weeks, going to 5 straight Giants games. Going to be in the city for a week straight, just baseballing it up all week with a friend of mine who's flying in from Minnesota. So I am excited about that. But from a sports fan standpoint, this is kind of the lull in the year before football season and after hockey and basketball season. So yeah, I'd say let's get into the mailbag.
All right, well, let's get Bisa back into the mix as we open the mailbag.
We get letters. We get stacks and stacks of letters.
Okay, so Bisa, courtesy of a little help with ChatGPT, came up with these letters to the LFG inbox. By the way, lfgradioshow@gmail.com and lfgradioshow.com for details on how to contact the show. And we need to get the phone number back in. So, Bisa, since you helped bring up these letters, you can go ahead and read one. These letters today seem a little lengthy. Do we just have 2? Do we have 2 or do we have 3? I'm only seeing 2. Do we have 2?
2. I was told 2.
Okay, all right.
And
That's
to make up a bit.
It's all good. It's all good. Do you want to read one, or do you want Matt and I to read one, or you want to wait for your segment coming up after we read these?
I'll wait.
Okay, Matt, you could take one of these 2 letters, Matt, whichever one you want to take.
Okay. I'm a basketball fan, so I will go with the letter that apparently centers around the sport of basketball. So, dear LFG, I hope this letter finds you dribbling through life with ease and precision. I hear you're looking for the secret recipe to turn out NBA superstars. Well, buckle up because I'm about to spill the beans, Villanova style. Here are the ingredients. The heart of a wildcat, courage and determination as strong as our mascot. 2, basketball IQ, a blend of smarts and instincts like knowing when to pass the ball and when to grab a cheesesteak. 3, work ethic, more sweat than an August day in Philly. No shortcuts, just hard work and hustle. 4, team spirit, a pinch of unselfishness and a dash of camaraderie. It's all about the team, not the individual. And 5, grit, resilience to bounce back after every fail, just like Philly sports fans. Instructions on how to bake. Recruit relentlessly. Search high and low for raw talent. Remember, even a diamond starts out as coal. 2, develop skills. Drills, 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 and more drills. And when they think they're done, more drills. 3, you got to build character. Emphasize the importance of being a good person on and off the court. Make sure they understand that their mom is always right. 4, foster leadership. Encourage them to lead by example. It's not just about scoring points, but making everybody around them better. And 5, cultivate a winning mindset. Install the belief that every game is winnable and always, always, always wear your lucky socks. And the final touches. Mix everything together in the Villanova basketball court. Let it simmer for a few seasons and watch as the magic happens and NBA superstars emerge, as well as a nice shot from Chris Jenkins. There you have it, the Jay Wright recipe for producing NBA stars. Use it wisely, and remember, have some fun along the way. After all, basketball is a game that's meant to be enjoyed. Best swishes, Jay Wright.
So Jay Wright chiming in. By the way, so the impetus for that obviously is Jay Wright's got now the New York Knicks are basically the Villanova Wildcats. They're the New York Wildcats. They now have 4 members of the national championship team that are going to be in their rotation, if not having starring roles. Dante DiVincenzo, Jalen Brunson, Jason Hart, and now Mikal Bridges. It's unbelievable what's happening in New York. All right, the other letter in the inbox today. Dear LFG team, I hope this letter finds you well and perhaps sipping on a nice cup of Tim Hortons coffee. I understand you're inquiring about which country reigns supreme in the world of hockey. Well, let me put on my toque and set the record straight. A toque is a hat, for those of you who don't know. Canada, without a doubt, is the undisputed champion of hockey. Our backyard ranks are as common as moose sightings. Kids in Canada learn to skate before they can walk, often on naturally frozen ponds. Our Saturday night ritual is to watch our national treasure. It's basically our version of a royal wedding. Need I say more? Our players shine on the world stage, and our national anthem sounds just a bit sweeter when it's played at Olympic medal ceremonies. Our secret weapon is a diet rich in poutine, and that seems to create hockey legends. If our fans can remain loyal to the Toronto Maple Leafs through decades without a Stanley Cup, that's the kind of dedication and passion that can only come from the true hockey heartland. Canada is to hockey what maple syrup is to pancakes, undeniably the best. I invite you to visit us during the next hockey season, and we'll show you how it's done Canadian style. Keep your stick on the ice. Best regards, Jay Trudeau. Jay Trudeau chiming in from the Great White North, defending Canada with another year without a Stanley Cup champion.
Yeah, you know what? Hey, man, if you want to win, you got to play better. Simple. I mean,
You got to play better. Okay, should we make that into a T-shirt? If you want to win, you got to play better. Is that a new shirt?
Yeah, and by the way, I just thought of something, and you and I, Dave, we love South Park. The only thing that would have made that better is if that came also with regards from Terrence and Phillip from Canada. But,
blame Canada.
Yeah. I mean, well, you can blame Canada for a lot of things. I did watch that special on the maple syrup heist of.
Oh, you did? You watched it? How good is that?
That is very good, and it's also weird the passions that people have in this world. I don't want to shame anybody, but it's just kind of funny. People have sides that they take on all this stuff, and they're the sticklers for rules. And in Canada, the Maple Syrup Federation, it's all federalized, or the Canadian version of federalized. And maple syrup is a serious deal. And there were some guys that did some prison time for literally stealing maple syrup. I mean, if you stole maple syrup,
actually, it was kind of a genius plan. I forget. It's been a long time since I watched it. But it's like anything. They went into the cookie jar and they got away with it, and then they kept doing it until they got busted. If they had only taken a few barrels and made a couple of bucks, like nobody would have ever caught on. But they got greedy and they wanted all of it.
One of the and that particular documentary was as part of a series called Dirty Money on Netflix. It's really good if anybody wants to watch it. But the other show that I watch all the time is American Greed on CNBC. It's a show specifically with financial crime and the investigation, and it shows all these different things, and they all could be a movie. And one of my favorite ones was, and this is a true story, these two little old ladies from, I think, Texas. They had this nuts and bolts company, and this was right in the middle of the Iraq War in 2003, 2004. And so what do, war equipment, tanks and things, what do they need? Nuts and bolts. So they developed this contract with the Defense Department for a supply contract. And there was an error, or the payment system for the country was very, very speedy, because you need to get those parts of the front lines. And what they discovered was they accidentally put the invoice into the shipping cost field, and the U.S. government just wrote them a check.
Wow.
And so they figured it out, and they would put $250,000 into the shipping cost for a $3 item, and they would get a check the next day for $250,000. and they just bilked the U.S. government out of like $20 million, and they would have gotten away with it, and it's like the perfect crime, except for they got greedy, and they put the same invoice number in twice, and then that's when they got caught, and it was all bad. But something like that, it's kind of genius. I mean, if you find a loophole like that, but of course people
it's
people are
genius
greedy.
until you get caught. It's all genius until you get caught, and then you got some problems.
Yeah,
all right.
no, I'm not advocating for doing that. I'm just saying it's a good show. Check it out, American Greed on CNBC.
All
But
right,
yeah,
there you go, the Matt Fowler show of the day. All right, so Bisa, you came up with a bit for us today. What is the bit that you've got ready for us today?
So it's called Poorly Described Movie. So
Poorly described movie. What kind of a music bed could I find for a poorly described movie? Let me see if there's something I could come up with here. While you tell us how we're gonna play, and I will see what I can come up with as a good music bed.
So I will describe a movie horribly, and it's up to you guys to figure out what the movie is.
Okay. All right. Well, so how many are we doing here?
Okay, we do 3.
We're doing 3. Okay, we're doing 3. I'm trying to find a funny, a royalty-free comedy music. Let's see what this sounds like for us here. It's probably gonna. Oh, these are. That's interesting. All right. How long is this one? All right, this one's 3:37. We'll give this one a shot after we play an ad, of course, here on YouTube. All right, here we go. All right, here we go, Bisa. What are we calling this segment? Do we have a name for this?
Poorly described movie.
Poorly described movie. All right, let's get to number 1. What do we got?
All right. A short guy with hops tries to impress a lady by taking shrooms.
A short guy with hops tries to impress a lady by taking shrooms.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
that's it. That's all we get.
Yeah.
A short guy with hops.
Harold and Kumar go to White Castle. I don't know.
No.
I got no clue. I got no clue on that.
You want me to tell you?
Yeah.
Yeah, because maybe they'll set a central theme going forward. Like we have to look more inward.
Yeah, because it's Super Mario Brothers.
Oh wait, so are these movies that are out now?
I mean they vary. Like I just have very horribly described movie.
Okay, all right,
Okay,
yeah,
but
because Super Mario Brothers isn't out yet, right? It's coming out soon.
No, it came out last year.
Oh,
it was like one of the big.
Well, right, but I mean that's not even. And there's nothing wrong
That
with
is
the clue,
actually
but
a genius description of that movie, though. A short
need-
guy
the
with
only thing you
hops
need-
tries to.
you
Yeah,
need
that's.
the only thing you need to include is just say a plumber, because that's not going to give.
No, I still wouldn't have gotten it as a plumber.
But it's
Right,
poorly
exactly.
described. I'm not supposed to give you.
Yeah.
A
No,
plumber.
this is good. This is
All
good.
right.
I think we're gonna need more than. How many do you have? Because these feel like they're gonna be quick.
Yeah, actually,
I mean, I have quite a few
All right,
actually.
let's just go. We'll go till it feels right. So,
Yeah.
so all right. What do you got for the next one?
A pizza delivery boy tries his best to stop a train because his mentor is off the rails.
Wow, a pizza delivery boy tries to stop a train.
30 minutes or less.
Oh man, the Orient Express. Even though I know it's not that.
Matt.
30 minutes or less. That's a movie. I don't know.
Oh no, it's Spider-Man 2.
Oh wow. Okay. All right.
Oh, okay. All right. I gotta stretch my mind for this stuff. Okay.
All right. We're 0 for 2. All right. Let's see. We'll do 5, and we'll see if we can even get 1. What do you got for number 3?
Okay. A nerd, a failed jock, a Boy Scout, and Miss Popular try to get back home, but only move a few feet a day.
Lord of the Rings.
No.
A nerd, a Boy Scout, Miss Popular, and who else?
A failed jock.
I mean, I don't think this
How
is
do you
it. But
fail at being a
I'm
jock?
just. It's obviously
Usually
involves a group of people. I'm gonna say Jumanji.
No.
What is it?
No idea.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I wouldn't have gotten that
I haven't
one.
even seen that movie.
I haven't seen that one in years.
Okay, let's see. See, this is fun.
Is it fun, Bisa? Is it fun?
It is. It really is fun.
It's fun for you because you know the answers. We don't know. We don't know shit.
Okay, okay. A walled-off cross-dresser attempts to prove that brains are better than brawn.
Oh, it's got to either be Tootsie or Mrs. Doubtfire, or it could be the other one too. Because I'm thinking of a crossdresser. I'm gonna go with Tootsie.
No.
Literally no idea.
Mulan.
Milan. Wow. Okay, give us one that you think we might get. Do you have one that you think we might get?
Yeah, something recent and.
Okay, recent or that you might get. Okay, let me see. There's okay. Recent that you might get. Recent that you might get. Cause what's crazy, you guys would get a lot of this. You guys just aren't.
We're not
Okay,
in the
this
right
one-
frame of mind for this.
Okay. An absconder and a nomad attempt to escape from a man with a burning cross.
An absconder?
Yes.
The fuck is an absconder?
The Hangover.
No, it's not the Hangover.
Matt, you got nothing.
No.
Matt, you're not helpful on this.
I can't be helpful if I don't know what it is.
Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
All right, you know
Okay. Those were way
Listen,
too hard.
Let me. Okay. Can I try one? Can I try one and then see if.
Okay. Can I try one?
Where did you come up with these? Where did you come up with these descriptions?
I mean.
Did you come up with these yourself?
Some yes and no, but there's
Okay.
one I know for a fact you guys are gonna get. If you don't get it, you guys are gonna just be mad at yourselves.
Okay.
An athlete and a performer debate how much items cost while in a fist fight.
An athlete and a performer debate how much items
How much items cost in a fist fight.
You know, Dave, I need that bong sounder, because
I think I'd probably be more in the frame of mind to answer these correctly if that was part of it. Oh my God, I have no clue.
You really don't want to take a guess because when I tell you the answer, you're gonna be
Okay,
mad.
can you give us another clue? Can you give us another synopsis for the same thing, same movie?
Well, no, that's not how the game works. It's an athlete and a showman get into a fight, discuss or discuss how much items cost while in a fist fight. I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna say Fight Club, but I don't think that's it.
It's Happy Gilmore.
Oh my gosh! Yes. Oh my gosh! That is. Oh my God! That is correct. Wow. Wow. Although I don't know. It's the. I guess it's debate. I guess he's an athlete. Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. Matt, you've got one off the top of your head that you want to throw at Bisa? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. It's probably. I mean, the movie came out about I don't know 7 years ago, so it's not too old, but we'll see. Let's see. Two idiots and a figure skater disrupt the world.
That I, Tanya.
Yes.
That was a little bit too on point, though. Yeah, that was good. That was good, though. All right.
Well, Dave, would you have gotten that?
I might have. I mean, Tanya Harding was the first thing I thought of. I don't know if I would have thought of the name of the movie though.
Well, exactly, because you have to have seen the movie.
Yeah.
I did see it though. I
By the
just
way,
Oh,
Matt,
I
it's
didn't
so
know
good.
it.
Matt, what year were you born?
91.
So you were 2 when that happened. Bisa, what year were
I'm
you born?
95.
So you were not alive yet. I remember. I remember why. That was the day that happened when Nancy Kerrigan got hit, and they had the exclusive video of it by Intersport, and they had their interstitial.
I feel bad. I feel bad for Tanya Harding. I've always had kind of a soft spot for Tanya Harding. I feel bad for her because it wasn't, clearly. I mean, her boyfriend Jeff Galooly came up with this whole thing, but it wasn't her idea. But then she was kind of forced into it, and then she had to play along after it happened. And I just did also the whole thing about when she broke into skating, and she just didn't look like the other skaters, and the judges didn't like her because of that. I just don't think that's right. I mean, she was insanely talented, and had that not happened, I think she would have won gold. But
do you know what I just heard, Matt? Bisa, tell me if you agree with this. I heard that Matt Fowler has a secret crush on Tanya Harding.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I wonder how Caitlin's gonna feel about that.
That's what I heard. That's what I heard right there.
How's
Caitlin gonna feel about that?
Oh, yeah,
you got a thing for Tanya Harding.
There's room for 3. There's room for 3 in the relationship. So
all right, this show's getting off the rails quickly here. All right. Real quick, Matt, you brought some news to my attention about a fire, and it involved one of the NFL's prime wide receivers, Randall Cobb.
yeah. So here's what the deal with that is. So this came courtesy of ESPN today. Wide receiver Randall Cobb and his family escaped a fire at their Nashville, Tennessee home this week, according to, or with his wife Ada posting on Instagram. We're lucky to be alive. So evidently there was some sort of fire. They have 3 young boys, so happy that everybody's okay there. But it just shows you that we're all human, and that can happen to anybody. And apparently the Nashville Fire Department took care of everything, and so that's a good thing. But yeah, I mean, fire season, I know all about it. Being here in California, there was big fires near me last week. Fortunately, everybody's okay. But yeah, fire season is no joke.
All right. Well, yeah, to make sure you are doing the right thing as we close on the 4th of July, wherever you are. If you're in California, don't shoot off fireworks, because not a good idea. Anyway, that's going to do it for today's show, guys. Bisa, good stuff. I'm sorry that I was not really able to come up with any answers whatsoever. Matt, oh, by the way, hey, Matt, real quick, do you have a Being Matt's bookie? Do you want to do one before we leave the show?
Sure.
All right, hold on. Here we go.
What's a weekend of sports without a little action? And no one craves the action more than gambling degenerate aficionado Matt Fowler. How many sandwiches will he lose this week? It's time for another edition of Being Matt's Bookie.
And Bisa, since Coase isn't here today, I'll let you bid on Coase's behalf. And he'll be locked in to whatever you decide. So use your good judgment. Use your good judgment. Don't just go all willy-nilly because
Bisa, don't use your good judgment.
But like, just be realistic. Like,
bankrupt Coase.
Don't take a number that you wouldn't feel comfortable with. Okay, so
did Jim approve this?
Probably not. But Jim has 20 sandwiches to play with, so he's sandwich rich, so he's okay. He's got house sandwiches to play with. And listen, given Matt's track record, it's probably going to turn into more sandwiches for him, so it's a good investment strategy. So Matt, one more time, let's just remind everybody.
Sandwich scoreboard update.
Matt Fowler owes Jim Cozumore 20 sandwiches. He owes me 9 sandwiches. And he's been trying to play catch up here. So, Matt, what are you looking at for your wager as we leave the show today?
Easy one, just straight bet. I'm gonna take the only thing that I can take is baseball, so I will take the game starting in. Well, no, I'll do a parlay. The game starting in 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Take the Minnesota Twins. They're minus 120, and I will also take the San Francisco Giants. And they have Jordan Hicks on the mound, and they are plus 100. So you put those together, and it would be about 3-1.
I don't think it would be 3-1. They're minus.
Yeah,
you got
no,
a favorite
it
at
would
minus 120, and
because
the other one's even money. It'd be probably like 1.5 to 1.
no, because
I'll give you 1.5 to 1.
No,
That's
it's
how many
it would be
sandwiches are you going to put up?
7.
7 sandwiches. Wow. Okay. I'm going 1.5 to 1. If Bisa thinks Jim would give you 2 to 1, then she can have it. I'm not going any higher.
You know what?
Okay.
Screw it. No, hang on. I'm changing it. I'll do 10 to 1, or 10 sandwiches. Sorry, 10 sandwiches.
Come on, you already put the 7 in. Let's just leave it at 7. We don't need to make it any more confusing. All right, so 7 sandwiches. I'm giving you 1.5 to 1. So I'll give you 11 if you win. Bisa, what are you willing to go 2 to 1? Are you willing to go 14 sandwiches to win his 7?
I'm not too confident playing with Jim sandwiches to that.
Oh, they're sandwiches, Bisa. Just do it. Just do it all.
No, don't talk her into it. It's her. It's Bisa's discretion.
Hang on. Bisa, hang on. This is how degenerate gamblers work.
Yeah,
okay?
Bisa, listen to him. This is how he gets in the hole, and he's 29 sandwiches in the hole.
They
So if your
just-
gut is telling you stay away, then stay
Here's
away.
what they do. Bisa. They don't think, oh, I don't want to play around with Jim sandwiches. No, they just close their eyes.
Bisa, guess what I just did? I just closed Matt's mic. Bisa, you're now free to make a decision in silence. Are you gonna go? Are you gonna go 2 to 1, or are you gonna pass?
No, I know scared money doesn't make money, but it's not my money to play with. I don't know the exact. Hey, 10 sandwiches, $10 per sandwich. That's a decent sandwich.
That's a decent sandwich.
I don't know the odds, but can I bet?
You can counter.
2 sandwiches?
You're allowed to counter.
So he's putting up 7, and I'm putting up 11. So would you be willing to put up 12?
No, Bisa, you
Coach has 20 to play with, so putting up 12 is not really that insane.
Yeah, 2 to 1 would be 14.
I'll do 12.
Okay, all right, she's got it. Bisa's got it. So Matt, you got the wagers with Bisa. Your 7 sandwiches for her 12. So you need the Giants and the Twins to both win tonight.
Yeah.
And if not, then Coz will next week. You'll owe him 27 sandwiches. Wow, it's getting out of control. All right, so there you go. 27 sandwiches on the line with Matt Fowler and being Matt's bookie. Matt, any final parting words for you as we say goodbye?
Well, I've enjoyed jumping into Jim's chair. Maybe this will be a Wally Pitt moment. Maybe we won't see Jim on the show again. I don't know. We should. Let everybody know,
we won't
though.
see Jim on the show again?
What? I said Wally Pitt moment.
News?
No, you missed what I said. I said I enjoyed jumping into Jim's chair. Maybe this will be a Wally Pitt moment.
Oh, so you're okay? Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. We should probably let everybody know, though. You had told me earlier, and I was kind of thinking this anyway. I don't think we're gonna have a show next week because it's gonna be the 4th of July.
That's correct. I will be on location on a shoot for my museum series. So that's going to take up a good part of my week next week, and it is the holiday, so we'll be back the following week. So the week after 4th of July. So everybody have a great 4th of July. Enjoy the Independence Day holiday. Be safe. And we will be back better than ever in 2 weeks. So you guys have a good weekend, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for
Bye, everybody.
Thanks for tuning in to LFG.